Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Pee-wee as himself, and this is a new documentary from director Matt Wolf, who has worked on previous films like Spaceship Earth and Teenage, and I was a big fan of Spaceship Earth as a documentary, and this focuses on the story of Paul Reubens, aka Pee-wee Herman, and this is a kaleidoscopic portrait told in two parts that traces the life of this imaginative artist. And yet again, HBO is just releasing a very long documentary in two pieces, which I get if you're going to split it up over 2 nights, but they literally debuted this back to back. So this was just from 8 o'clock until almost 11:30 on a Friday night. I'm like, why don't you just release this as one movie? It's a streaming world. You could just pause it and watch the rest later. But that's not the point. I'm reviewing this as one whole film and not as a series that's arbitrarily split up into 2 pieces. And because they do that a lot with a lot of their documentaries, that are just one film that they want to split up to make it easy, I guess, for you to watch. But this film from Wolf is a really engrossing and really impactful exploration of Paul Reubens. And I think the most important thing to talk about in this film is the Paul Reubens interactions, because they interviewed him for what I think the film said 40 hours, and for which he makes jokes about being held hostage without food or sleep. And his personality, his humor comes through so much in those interactions that this film is automatically better and funnier and more engaging for it. And without even digging into what we learned about Paul Reubens, just him being him on screen is entertaining enough. I could sit there and watch him just do his thing for 2 hours talking at the camera and probably just be a fun, engaging time. And I think there's few personalities that could do that. Quick side note, I went to go see Jeff Goldblum in concert with his jazz band, and he's the pianist. The best parts, I really liked the music, but the best parts were his interludes where he just got up and, was just Goldblum. Some of the best parts of this film is just Paul Reubens being Paul Reubens. But on top of his personality, you get a lot of insight to who he is as a person, and he brings so much texture to his journey. And this journey is fascinating because, obviously, a lot of people are going to be in there for the Pee-wee Herman of it all. And he had so much layers, just how complex and artful this experience of being Pee-wee Herman was. And this journey, the struggles, the successes, what worked about this character, because Reubens is, at the core, as we learn, an avant-garde artist. And he got so much fame and adulation for being a character comedian, creating these characters, whether it was what he was doing on The Gong Show, and him being very open about one of the biggest acts that he did was being a Native American club singer, and he's just being this is racist, this was bad, I'm so glad this was not the character that I'm remembered for. And being open and honest about the times and his regrets and things that he wished that he didn't do. But his journey through becoming Pee-wee Herman and all of this, all leading up to his time that you see at the end of this film, close to his death. And he knew he was dying. He was fighting cancer for 6 years. And there's that, I think that kind of weight of his mortality creeping up on him just made him so brutally honest. And that honesty, that rawness, makes this film so much more compelling. And it's fascinating seeing him explore his early artful experiences in college and this avant-garde approach to things, and him experimenting with his looks. And also his personal journey of getting out and going back in and coming out of the closet. And what that did to him, and that journey that he had to go through for his own personal experiences through regarding his sexuality. This film, Wolf puts a lot of the energy into, just putting Paul Rubens in the driver's seat and allowing him to guide us through his journey. And we hear from others that add context and layers to it. But the real meat of it comes from Rubens himself, who at this point in his life offered up a brutally honest exploration. And that, I think, is one of the most important things when it comes to a documentary about a famous person. Are they in a place to present themselves openly and in a way that is going to show all of them, the good, the bad, and the ugly of it all? And this film is able to do that. And sure, like, did this need to be 3 hours and 20 minutes combined? Probably not. You probably could have, like, tightened this up a little bit. That's probably my only big gripe with this film, is that it probably could have been a little bit leaner. But it's so all-encompassing and leaves no stone unturned. And overall, it's just such an engaging and impactful and poignant experience through the expression of Paul Rubens on screen. But those are my thoughts on Pee-wee as himself. Let me know what you think, and let's talk movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.